All right, adventurers, welcome back. What we have here is Brainy Chameleon's 1984 Honda Goldwing Aspencade. That's the GL1200A for those who are going to want to know that. So let me go over it real quick. We know an existing problem right there in the front forks. The front fork seals are bad. We know it. You can see where it's been leaking down the front forks onto that brake caliper. So we're worried that brake caliper might be bad. No, don't know yet. Probably the brake pads for sure are roached. But as we get into it, we'll see exactly what's going on there. What else do we have? We have to go into it and start removing a lot of the stuff that's inside. Like everything in that little compartment area there, and all underneath the, well, that's actually the fuel tank, and that's where the fuel comes in at right there, down into the tank. But we have to clean all that out too, along with that, and whatever's behind this panel here, we need to snatch it off and see what's inside. Get all the cobwebs, gunk, nastiness and all that, just clean it up, give it a proper cleaning. We are probably going to have to redo the exhaust because right down here it is real rusty across both sides of the header pipes, left and right. They're rusty. Didn't see any holes, but if we increase the amount of miles that this thing is doing in a given month, there's a good chance that as those pipes heat up, cool down, so on and so forth, that rust is eventually going to eat away faster and cause a hole anyway. So I might as well go ahead and look at replacing the exhaust for her. Now, she is a fan of how her exhaust sounds. Now, what has happened here, you can see there's an adapter coupler right here that goes from your normal Honda exhaust down to receive a Screaming Eagle pipe. So he has dual Screaming Eagle pipes, 2 into 1, and on the other side 2 into 1. I don't think there's an Xbox or anything like that underneath to connect them, so I think it's a true 2 into 1 on both sides. I may be wrong. The center stand is missing. Not sure where that's at, but we're going to replace that when we go to redo the exhaust perhaps. The problem I have with this exhaust, it's Screaming Eagle pipes off of Harley Davidson. First off, I am almost 100% sure that this guy did not have the carbs jetted for the new exhaust that he put on. On top of that, he also went in and removed the baffles from his Screaming Eagle exhaust, and I'm 200% positive he did not tune the carbs for that at all, which explains why this thing runs like a tractor, or sounds like a tractor to me. Now, I've also noticed back here on the rear suspension that the shoes are torn and kind of ripped away. As long as the suspension itself is still good, I'm going to see if I can just reshoe it and keep it going. I'm not sure how that works, if that's a thing. I will learn and we'll find out. Now, up here in the front, we're going to do an oil change and all the other good stuff, right? So we'll have all that cleaned up where I don't know if it's the fork seals have been leaking down and just splattering onto the engine. I'm hoping that's all that is. So we can just take some mean green degreaser, spray it down, give it a little washing, and hopefully it'll all come free. But let's move y'all around a little bit and get you a different view. All right. Now, one thing I've noticed is the wiring. Is a bit of a bugbear. He's got all sorts of pigtail wiring going left and right, up and down, A, B, start, for infinite lives. But all that just really needs a good cleaning. These aren't my leaves, these are someone else's leaves, so they have to be cleaned. And unfortunately, the tape deck is non-functional. It'll play a tape at a very garbled high speed, perhaps. I'm not sure. Either way, it doesn't play the tape correctly, so that's a no-go. Now, all the gauges look like they work. I'm not 100% sure on that because we haven't got it on the road yet. That'll be something I'm going to do today. I'm going to bump it out onto the road, see how it goes, if there's any problems that the gentleman didn't tell me about other than the choke cable. I know the choke cable is bad because it's dangling right there, but there should be another one in that pile of stuff right there too. So we're going to replace that. It's going to be a quick fix because we already have the part. I just got to do it. Oh boy. Alright, so I need someone's help. These things right here, little nubbles. Boop, boop. What are those? Get you closer to it so you can tell me. What is the purpose of that? There's one on both sides, so I don't know what it's for. I don't know what it does. Oh, I can smell my grill heating up. That's good. All right, so what you all wanted is for me to crank it up and fire it up, right? Well, okay. I can do that. That's not a problem. Go ahead and remove this tray. That's where the airbox intake is. I didn't know that. I learned that yesterday. I have not started it today, so I don't know how it's going to run. But let's find out. That's a good sign. Let's give it a bump of the bean juice. While this warms up a little bit, then I might put a seat on it and bump it around town here in a little bit. We'll see. All right, adventurers, y'all take care. But before I let you go, you know I gotta talk to you about my friends, my family, my buddies, my amigos. And that is, they are folks down in Tampa at the Forgotten Angels property. Now, David and Cindy, the founders of Forgotten Angels and all, what they do is they take the young men and women who have aged up out of the foster care system, or aged out of the foster care system, and out as in the state-appointed parents decided that on their 18th birthday they didn't need them around anymore. Let me explain a little bit better than that, huh? So here it is. It's your 18th birthday, right? Day to celebrate. You're now officially an adult. You can do things you couldn't do before, and you're responsible for things you weren't responsible for before. But now you are. Well, instead of celebrating and having a good time, what happens is your foster parents come to you and they hand you all your stuff in a trash bag. Maybe two if you happen to have 2 trash bags worth of clothes. And they tell you, all right, hit the streets, get out of my house. You're no longer my problem. I'm not responsible for you. You don't live here anymore. Get out. And at that moment, they become homeless. They become homeless and hopeless because they have no hope in figuring out what to do on their own, because their biological parents failed them and refused them and sent them into the state program, and then the state appointed parents denied them of any true parenting, any true teaching, right? They didn't give them any of the skills that I know my parents gave me. I know as a kid growing up, right, I could tie my shoes, I could sign my name to stuff, I could read, I could learn, I was doing things. And then when it came as a teenager, I learned how to start doing stuff with my hands, working on things, working on stuff that makes me happy, learning how to do this kind of stuff, right? Well, I was given these kind of opportunities, but these young men and women were not. They weren't given any kind of guidance, any kind of leadership, any kind of parenting to prepare them for what life actually is, what life is about, what life will do to you. And ladies and gentlemen, folks and creatures of all shapes and sizes, we all know what life will do to you. Life is like water. It will tear down the biggest structure, no matter how big and how strong you think it is. Time and water, life, it'll wear you down. And not knowing how to prepare for that, how to manage it, that's just a recipe for disaster. Uh-oh. It's burgling down a little bit. I have no idea how much gas is in there. But David and Cindy, they take these young men and women who have been refused every opportunity to learn. They've been refused every opportunity to better themselves and prepare themselves for life. They take these young men and women, bring them in, and they give them the tools that they were denied. They give them the training they need to succeed. They give them a shot at life and a shot at finding happiness. And ladies and gentlemen, folks, creatures of all shapes and sizes, I'll say it again, happiness is key. You don't have to have the shiniest nickel or the gold-plated dimes. If you can be happy and where you are, where you're going, and what you're doing next, that's all you need. You got to find happiness. Happiness is key, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all take care. Go adopt a puppy. Pawsome Southern Rescue. I give them an 11 out of 10.